One space CEO, Stephen Flair, said, the gig economy is a new composition where individuals are making money and structuring their employment. To ask you this question, would you rather listen to people who are inexperienced, viewing concepts from the outside, or will you listen to people who are experts on the field, like Stephanie LeFleur? I would rather choose the latter. My name is David Oyibo, representing Kaduna State University and affirming the motion which says Nigeria's rising youth unemployment, the new gig economy is a solution. When we're talking about the gig economy, we are referring to a free market system where individuals or organizations employ the services of people on a short-term basis, and the internet is a major connector between buyer and seller. When we're talking about unemployment, according to the Corporate Institute of Finance, they say unemployment is a situation where an individual who is employable and actively seeking a job cannot get a job. According to the National Bureau of Statistics, 23.2 million youths out of 17 million youths who are employable do not have jobs. And of this 23.2 million, 22% are actually skilled workers and laborers who are without jobs. So my question is, do we wait for the government to create millions of jobs within their tenure, or do we take advantage of the opportunities we have right now, here and now? In a couple of minutes, I'm going to be showing you how the new gig economy is actually creating opportunities for employment in Nigeria. First, creating local job opportunities. Now, on the ride-hailing platforms like Uber and Bolt have actually created 9,000 jobs, and there's an average of 250,000 rides every month. So that's an average of 28 rides for every employer, every person that has been employed by the ride-hailing platform every single month, and these numbers are expected to rise. Let's talk about Kobo 360, which connects organizations and individuals to third-party truck drivers. This platform has been able to generate $37 million in profit. So we see that these platforms, through the gig economy, has actually created jobs locally here in Nigeria. Also, let's talk about international job opportunities that are being created by the gig economy. Now, I have a friend, his name is Tope, and he's a data analyst, but he wasn't able to get any jobs in Nigeria. But he got connections to places like the US and Canada, who gave him freelancing offers, and he began to earn 5 times the minimum wage of Nigeria through the platform Fiverr. And of course, Fiverr is a company that is registered and is worth about $8.6 billion and is registered on the New York Stock Exchange. Now, I've been into affiliate marketing for a few months, and even as a student, I've earned money from this platform. But I have a mentor, Samuel Jibo by name, who has been into affiliate marketing and platforms like Upwork. And within a space of a year, he was able to earn about 6 million naira. So we see how the gig economy is actually revolutionizing the connection between people with skills and an international market. So we have Fiverr, TopTal, Upwork, and a whole lot of platforms that are employing people. And why? Because English is a native language, and the cost of labor here in Nigeria is pretty cheap. And of course, there's a growing army of technologically inclined youths who are growing their skills and actually adding value to the global economy. And also, this system creates a platform for young people to actually build their skills, build their experience, network with people from across the globe, and also get further opportunities in the future. With this point, it's pretty clear and it's pretty sure that the new gig economy is actually creating job opportunities here in Nigeria. Thank you.
A British columnist said, and I quote, "In today's gig economy, where jobs have been replaced by portfolios or projects. You find people doing more work, less well, for 1/3 of the money. Good evening, everyone, judges, co-debater, opponents. I am John Victor, and I'm here to oppose the motion suggesting that the gig economy is a solution for Nigerian rising youth unemployment. I begin with the story of Miss Timmy, a South African single mom. She was in need of a job, and she got a job in the gig economy as a translator. Now she works between 1,400 and 2,200. And now she has to work through the night, wake up in the morning, take her child to school, come back home, prepare, try and grab as much sleep as she can before she goes back to working at night again. Will you be surprised if she's suffering from social isolation and depression? No. We know there is a problem of unemployment in Nigeria. We know we have a problem. But suggesting the gig economy as a solution to our rising youth unemployment is as good as suggesting paracetamol to treat a brain tumor. Here are my points. First point, I would like to say that the gig economy provides a flexible employment opportunity and that people can work from home. That is what my opponents are going to tell you. That is what they would like you to believe. But let's look at statistics. For example, in Nigeria, according to Statista, internet user penetration in Nigeria is 38.73%. The average price for 1 gig of data last year was $0.88. Add that with the fact that we don't have light, that electricity supply is epileptic. Add that with the current inflation. Add that with the fact that most Nigerians are not living in urban areas. So tell me, how does this gig economy work for them too? If we are claiming that this gig economy is going to meet our unemployment solve our problem of unemployment, how does this work for Nigerians that don't have internet access? We need a better plan. Secondly, I would like to say that in a study conducted across Africa in 2020 and published by the University of Edinburgh, it says that the flexible working condition associated with the gig economy often obscures the insecurity and the associated physical and psychological impacts on workers. This is especially worse in people who are originally poor because they don't know when the next job will come. I need to remind you that this gig economy works based on contract, and your employer can wake up the next day and decide to terminate that contract. So what is there so the situation is this: somebody who is employed today can join the unemployment pool tomorrow. Can we really say this is a solution? Thirdly, I would like to say that respondents also say that there is poor autonomy and bargaining power in the gig economy, and they especially cited Philippines and Indians as competitions when it comes to this. One Nigerian during the study said that Indians can collect $1 for a walk and walk like a camel. How do you expect Nigerians to cope in this kind of situation with this competition? How do you expect Nigerians to survive? So how can we say that this is a solution to the unemployment problem in Nigeria? Lastly, I will still say that yes, I agree that there is problem, that we have unemployment problem in Nigeria. But to suggest that the gig economy is a solution, it's faulty. It's a faulty logic. And I hereby proudly oppose. Thank you very much.
Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Abure Monojo. I'm here to affirm the motion which states that in Nigeria, the new gig economy is a solution to the rising unemployment in our nation. Unemployment is a major problem in our nation. Youth unemployment is not only an economic problem, but also a social problem, because a lot of vices and social disorders has been implicated and traced to unemployment in our nation. Many factors have been ironed out to be implicated in the concept of unemployment in our nation. One of those factors is neglect of vocational and technical education in favor of the university and polytechnic education, because the society has placed much emphasis on certificates. According to Babalola, in the year 2007, he also opined that one of the major problems associated with unemployment is neglect of agriculture. It must be recorded, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, that in the 60s and 70s, the mainstream of our economy is agriculture. Agriculture has now been substituted for petroleum, and petroleum has limited capacity of employment in our nation. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, I have a sincere question to pose before my opponent on this day. Is there anything that can be compared to the ills associated in terms of rise in crime rate in our nation, nothing can be compared to this. On this platform, I agree with the stand and opinion of Okafor in 2011 that relates the rising crime rate of our dear nation to the issue of unemployment. On this premise, I wish to establish the fact that the new gig economy is a solution to unemployment in our nation with the following points of mind. Flexibility of job. It must be emphasized and stated at this level that the new gig economy is characterized with high level of flexibility. According to the Nigeria Bureau of Statistics, it was stated that 33% of the working class population are unemployed. 42% of our population, youth population, are unemployed, placing Nigeria as the second most, in terms of the highest, second country with the highest rate of unemployment in our nation. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, my opponents in argument, how do you want to settle this? And it must be emphasized at this junction that the issue of unemployment is not only a reflection of unavailability of job in our country, it is also a reflection of so many other factors, like inflexibility of job, as seen and evident in fixed job as compared to what we see in the new gig economy. I will be stressing, my next argument is on the issue of cost effectiveness. It must be stressed and emphasized, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, that one of the hallmarks of the new gig economy is maximizing cost and expenses, because most of these employers and providers of labor use this opportunity in favor of themselves and in favor of the society by using this money that ought to be used for payment of hospital services, pension for their workers, being directed and channeled into the economy, and provision of more employment opportunities will be there for our youth. I will end my argument on this level in the stand and the view of Nelson Mandela, that says the pride of every nation is the education and the empowerment of its youth. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, my opponents in argument, I stand to say I am proud to affirm the motion that the new gig economy is the solution to the rising unemployment in our nation. Thank you.
You don't have to lift a finger beyond your nearest smartphone app to get someone to deliver your groceries over. You want to call a cheap cab? Easy. You want a delivery on a Sunday? Not a problem. But what about the gig workers that are working to make this possible? Good evening, everyone. My name is Bikis Muhammad Gaza, and I am here to oppose the motion which states the new gig economy is a solution in Nigeria. Firstly, my opponent said this is flexible working, implying that these gig workers are actually happy with the freedom of working at any time they want. And yes, everyone likes freedom. I used to think like that. But I had a very touching conversation with a Bolt driver, and he made me realize that while this may suit some people like students, old workers, and just people trying to supplement other sources of income, this is actually the reality for most of them. The reality for most of them is that working in a good economy means low income, financial insecurity, and no employment right worth speaking of. On that note, my first point is lack of financial security. The minimum wage in Nigeria in 2020, as published by the National Bureau of Statistics, is 30,000 naira monthly. Now, these gig workers get paid per job, not hourly, not daily, not weekly, not even monthly. So there is no guarantee that they are actually going to earn up to that 30,000 naira. When, let's say a delivery man can make a delivery in the morning, then come sit down twiddling his thumbs until another gig comes in. There is no guarantee. And in the words of Chester Bowles, an American ambassador, he said there is no real individual freedom in the presence of financial insecurity. So obviously it is harder for such people to get mortgages and loans, so therefore it is harder for them to plan for the future. My second point is no work rights. If you are categorized as a worker or an employee, it is known that you are entitled to so many rights like health insurance, retirement benefits, short-term disability, long-term disability, paid time off such as vacations and sick days. You also have the right to join a union at work to have them initiate collective bargaining on your behalf for better pays and conditions. But these gig workers have none of these rights. They are basically on their own. So obviously that brings me back to the question I asked in the beginning of my argument, that what about the gig workers that work to make this possible? Well, this actually means stress for them. It means physical and mental ill health. So with these points of mine, I hope I've been able to convince you that this is not a solution in Nigeria. Thank you.
There you go. Affirming the motion which says Nigeria's rising youth unemployment, new gig economy is a solution. Now, my opponents raised the point that some gig workers work from 1,400 to 2,200 hours. And I would like to say that it's not peculiar to the gig workers, because even as the doctors, they work 48 hours to 72 hour shifts. Will you tell me that this doesn't mean that they actually work overtime, even if they are not gig workers? And also, my opponent in argument raised the fact that gig workers are not paid hourly. I'll just tell you to go on Upwork and check how gig workers are actually paid by the hour. Once again, I want to affirm the motion that says gig workers actually are creating change in the area of employment. In the words of Boucher, he said, he was a security technologist and author. The internet is no longer a place that we connect to. Instead, it's a computerized network, an interconnected world that we live in. And it is the future. Thank you.
Doctors, as a response to one of the points we raised, but I would like to ask him, in regards to stability of work, which gig economy offers wardrobe allowance, transport allowance, dental, health insurance, life pension? None. So it doesn't really matter as far as this conversation is concerned. Recently, my dad called me. He said the weatherman back at home is saying that there were places in Kaduna that will flood soon. Am I safe? If we really care about Nigerians and the gig economy, I think the first question we should ask is, are they safe? Now, I'd like to inform you that nowhere in the Nigerian constitution or in the Nigerian legislation is there anything about gig workers. What does that mean? They are not protected. You find them in the Labor Act, in the Employee Payment Act, you find them in the Minimum Wage Act. So now, if you love Nigerian youth, if you see they have a problem with unemployment and you want to solve it, will you just send them to an uncharted territory? It's only a parent that doesn't care about the welfare of his or her child that will send them to places where they are not safe. Thank you very much.